I feel very cute in this outfit. I don't know if I can look like it though. Hey y'all, it's Brody, and I'm a little bit drunk. I am responsible. I am drinking in my home. We are not exiting the premises except for work because of COVID. Please drink responsibly. Please drink safely. Please don't go out to bars or clubs. Just get some White Claw and drink responsibly in your place. It's currently like 2 in the morning. I need to film something. So I'm filming book recommendations for the Bias Breaker Readathon. If you don't know what the Bias Breaker Readathon is, I will leave my announcement video linked up there and down there for you to go watch. Essentially, it's choose your own adventure space themed readathon. The 2020 round is space themed, and I, along with 8 other people, are co-hosting this first round. I am one of the leaders. I'm not the only leader. I'm gonna tell you who the other ones are. I am one of the leaders for Team Renegade researchers. The other leaders for the Renegade researchers are Jordaline and Henry, and we are the best team. We've made that very clear. So, I am going to recommend you books for each of the prompts. I will be telling you the fun prompts and then recommending you the books. This is not alcohol. This is Wendy's? I think I got this from Wendy's. This is Wendy's. I got Wendy's today, y'all. I love that I'm a researcher, and you would think the researchers would be like the put together ones, but like I tried to dress like a scientist for y'all. I don't have a white lab coat, but I do have the anime flashing glasses thing. Like my hair, it's not tied back properly like a scientist, but I'm a researcher, not a scientist. There's a difference. How's your day going? I hope your day is going really well. I want you guys to all have good days. Interstellar Spy. Trade info with a spy to gain passage on their ship without revealing your true name or intentions. Read a book with a non-binary, gender-fluid, genderqueer main character and or author. I have Johnny Appleseed by Joshua Whitehead. This is one of my favorite books of all time. I finally got a physical copy. I fucking love it. This follows a two-spirit indigiqueer cyber sex worker who fetishizes himself on the internet to help save money to go back to the reservation for a family funeral. And it's like kind of just like a little contemporary slice of life, adult fiction narrative. You learn about him, you learn about his past, you learn about his present, and family, and it's just really nice. And I love it. This book made me feel very seen. I love it. I love it. Two-Spirit is not non-binary, genderqueer, gender-fluid, but it is all gender non-conforming. It's a little bit deeper than that, but basically it's not cis-binary. Renegade researcher, the best one. Build a relationship with a deep space researcher and become their assistant. That's what you will do by joining my team. Read a book with a bisexual, that's also me, pansexual, or aro ace spectrum main character or author. Popular on book Twitter during debut week. Haven't seen anyone talk about it since then, and it's kind of pissing me off. And that is I'll Be the One by Layla Lee. This follows a girl named Lucky? Sky, not Lucky, it's Sky. I was thinking of the Britney Spears song. I'm so stupid. How can I be a researcher? I'm an idiot. Follows a girl named Sky who wants to be the first plus-size K-pop idol. So she enters this K-pop competition, and it's televised, and she becomes famous. And also, she's bisexual. And there's like a boy who's a famous K-pop idol that she falls in love with. And it's like a whole thing. And I don't really like YA romance anymore, but y'all, this fucking book. Loved this fucking book. Like I said, I didn't see many people talking about it past its debut week, and I think that's a shame. I think it's a very good one. Privateer Pilot. Memorize a privateer pilot's audio/visual map, then destroy it. Forcing them to take you on as Navigator. Read a book with a physically disabled or neuroatypical main character and or author. It's Wild and Crooked by Leah Thomas. I believe it is cerebral palsy rep in this. I haven't read it in a while. And also it is a queer platonic friendship, so there's no romance in this book really, and that's something I really enjoyed. And you get a perspective disabled character because I love my queer platonic friendships. That's something that I love in my books, is queer platonic friendships. So I'm always going to recommend something with that. All That Glitters. I can't read. I'm a booktuber and I can't read. Look back at Earth and see the glittering cities of the world lit up from space. Read a book from the Middle East, Africa, South or Southeast Asia, or non-US/Canada Americas. Published in /author from. It's a poetry collection I read for Indigiton, and that is My Woman Card is Anti-Native and Other Two-Spirit Truths by Zemiula M. Tapachulu. I really enjoyed this. I believe the author is Indigenous. Let's see. Two-Spirit from Cuscatán, the land internationally known as El Salvador. So this is Central America. This is just a short poetry collection talking about what it is like to be a two-spirit person, what it is like to be a native person today, an indigenous person today. And some of these poems really hit hard for me. There's one where the poet is basically talking about Jason Mraz's cultural appropriation. It's called An Open Letter to Jason Mraz. And it uses, I don't want to show you all the poetry, but it uses quotes from Jason Mraz songs as a counterpoint to Jason Mraz as a non-indigenous person claiming to be two-spirit. Would definitely recommend. Very good queer poetry. Milky Way transmissions. Messages are coming through the Milky Way, but they're jumbled, so you need to translate them. Read a translated book originally not in your first language. My Lesbian Experience with Loneliness by Nagata Kabi. This is a nonfiction graphic manga memoir. It deals with like coming of age and sexuality and depression and how all of those things tie together. What it's like being like a working class young adult struggling out of a depression whenever you're still living at home. There's a lot in here that I really liked. It talks about like first sexual experiences. Just really like the color scheme. It's all done in pinks and blacks and whites and grays, and it's really aesthetically pleasing. Next, Cryosleep Classroom. You've got a long way to go and a lot to learn from Earth's past mistakes. Enter Cryosleep and dream your way through books featuring indigenous voices as your ship sails through the stars. Read a book with an indigenous main character or an author. I'm gonna hit myself in the face with this before this video is over. I bet you thought that I was gonna be on the team with the indigenous prompt, but I switched up the positions on ya. So for this one, I have a play that I recently read, and that is Dead White Writer on the Floor by Drew Hayden Taylor. I talked about this one in a recent video. I can't remember what that recent video is, but I will link it upstairs and downstairs for you to go check out. These 6 indigenous characters, right? So you have Disney's Pocahontas and Tonto and like Injun Joe from Tom Sawyer. You have 6 of them who all appear in this room, not knowing where they came from, not knowing how they got there. And there is a dead white writer on the floor. Turns out the dead white writer has been trying to rewrite their stories, and now they have the chance to rewrite their own stories and claim their lives. Fantastic discussion of identity politics, and I would love to see this performed live, but would recommend you go check this one out. And it's pretty short. Like I said, it's a play, so. Ooh, next is Houston, We've Got a Problem, which is the secret midway challenge that I can't tell you about yet. So make sure you're following bias__breaker on social media platforms so you can figure out what the secret midway challenge is. Number 9 is Through the Ringer. Asteroids and the planet's rings have broken pieces off of the ship, and you've crash landed. Break down internal components to fix the ship's outside damage. Break your own book bias. So whatever you read the most of, read the total opposite. Can't tell you what to read for this, right? Because I don't know what you read the most of. I read fiction, which means my least read thing is nonfiction. So I have my favorite nonfiction book that I've ever read here for you today. That's going to change because I'm reading nonfiction for the Bias Breaker Readathon. But I'm reading a nonfiction for the Bias Breaker Readathon. But I have this, it's called My Favorite Horror Movie, 48 Essays by Horror Creators on the Film That Shaped Them. This is produced and edited by Christian Ackerman, and this is the first of 3 different volumes. I really want to read volumes 2 and 3. You can see I tabbed this. It is nonfiction essays from like icons in horror. You have writers and directors and actors and bloggers and all of these people who were icons to me, like in my formative years, talking about what was iconic to them in their formative years. But yeah, would recommend this if you are looking for some horror related nonfiction. Number 10, Stranger in a Strange Land. Nothing is familiar to you here. Explore your surroundings before building your station. Read a book from a country you know nothing about. I don't like saying I don't know anything about a country because obviously I have some knowledge of countries and things about them. Pet by Akweke Emezi to recommend for you today. Akweke Emezi is a non-binary author who uses they/them pronouns, by the way. Make sure you're using the correct pronouns for your authors. Pet follows this deaf trans girl named Jam who lives in this town called Lucille where all the monsters have been banished, right? By the angels. Leads on her mother's painting and it opens a portal, and then a monster named Pet crawls out who says there are more monsters in the town. So, I loved this. And once again, like I said, these last couple are kind of personal because I don't know what country you don't know things about. I'm just going to read you the back of this because I think that this sums up the story really well. And this is what convinced me fully to actually read the book. The problem is, when you think you've been without monsters for so long, sometimes you forget what they look like, what they sound like, no matter how much remembering your education urges you to do. It's not the same when the monsters are gone. You're only remembering shadows of them, stories that seem to be limited to the pages or screens you read them from, flat and dull things. So yes, people forget, but forgetting is dangerous. Forgetting is how the monsters come back. Now this last prompt, it was the hardest one for me to figure out a recommendation for. Close Encounters. The beings share shapeshift to match your human form, although they are different than you in all other aspects. Read a book with a main character who is completely different from you. I don't know what you are like as a person, but I would say that the complete opposite of me as a person would be a rich, straight, cis, white woman. The main character of this book is Taylor Swift. Is it actually Taylor Swift? No. Is this a Taylor Swift fanfiction? Essentially. A Taylor Swift fanfiction, but like a red era Taylor Swift. That's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I've been filming for like an hour. There's so many cords, I keep getting tangled up in the cords. I have the light cord, I have my laptop cord. Let's just unplug you. These are the books that I recommend that you read. Oh wait, no, all the spines are facing different ways. Oh no. Let me fix them. So these are all the books that I recommend that you read for the Bias Breaker Readathon. Or, you know what? Read whatever the fuck you want to read for the Bias Breaker Readathon, as long as it fits the prompts for Team Renegade Researcher. Because if you're watching this video, you should know that Team Renegade Researcher is the best team, and you should be on the best team. That's all I have for this video. Comment question of the day. No, that's not a question. I want to know what character is the complete opposite from you as a person, from like a book you've read. Does that make sense? I hope you have a wonderful whatever it is, wherever you are. I'll see you next time with another video. Thank you for watching. Okay, cool. Join Team Renegade Researchers. Bye. I got post for a thumbnail. I feel so stupid. Oh God. bed. It's almost 3 in the morning. Bye.